If you're familiar with Southern Oregon, you've probably heard about Medford, and maybe you're considering a move here. Well, before you do, please take a listen and see if you can live with some of the things that suck about living in Medford. Hey everyone, my name is Simona Fino, and welcome to Living Southern Oregon. Now, Medford has been a popular destination for many years. Its population has doubled in the last 30 years. Countless folks have been packing their bags and making the move here, and for the most part, the reasons are clear. We've got amazing weather, it's pretty affordable to live here, and there are endless outdoor adventures, all of which make it appealing. However, this video isn't about the good stuff, because today I'm going to share the not so great things about Medford. Now be sure to stay to the end, because I am going to have a bonus tip, and it's going to be a real estate tip, so stay to the end. All right, number one thing, fire and smoke. Fire is not necessarily something that residents of Medford need to worry about so much, but they do need to worry about smoke. Now, wildfires are common all along the West Coast, and they produce huge amounts of smoke. And if the wind conditions are right, the smoke makes its way to Medford. And I want you to keep in mind that Medford sits in a bowl. We're in a valley here between mountain ranges. So when smoke does come this way, it sits and it creates really poor air quality, and that can create health concerns, especially for those with lung or respiratory conditions. So if you're someone who has work outside, this can be especially unhealthy, and you might find you need to wear a mask while you're working. Now, over the last couple of years, when the air quality has been bad, it hasn't lasted very long. We've gotten lucky. Usually the wind shifts and the smoke blows away. However, there are times when the conditions align against us, and it can be bad for a week, 2 weeks, or even longer, and that is awful. That's when you'll start hearing people say, I'm getting out of here. I cannot stand living in the smoke every summer. All right, the other big thing that sucks about the area is our unhoused population. Now, if you do any sort of research about Medford, you're gonna see a lot of information about our homeless or unhoused population. Now, most of these folks hang out in the parks alongside Bear Creek Trail in Medford, or some of them are near the shelters, most of which are in West Medford. Now, like anywhere else, most of these folks are dealing with mental health issues and drug addiction, so this is not an easy problem to solve. However, there are organizations that are tackling this problem, and I want to mention Rogue Retreat because they are a great example, so definitely check them out. I also wanted to share a story because as I was walking through the park, I was taking some pictures just so you could see firsthand what's going on in the park. I overheard a young man and woman talking behind me as we were waiting to cross the street. Now, from their conversation, I could tell that they had been recently unhoused and dealing with that, and they were talking about the things that they are grateful for now. Now, she mentioned this whiteboard in her home where she writes down the things she's grateful for, including, I get to wake up and see my son. And he said, and I don't have to take all my stuff and cover it and protect it from the rain. So while homelessness is a big issue, I think it's really important to remember there are people struggling with real problems, and many of them do want a better future. I also think it's important to keep in mind that your experience dealing with unhoused folks is relative. If you're coming from a larger city, the problems here are going to seem pretty mild in comparison. But if you're coming from a smaller town in an expensive area, it's likely going to appear a lot more extreme. So, like so many things in life, it's all relative to your personal experience. All right, the other thing that sucks about Medford is it doesn't have a big city vibe, and it also doesn't have a small town quaint vibe. So it's kind of weird. It's the biggest city in Southern Oregon. We're a major center for business, and we have an international airport. We're right off the I-5, which is a major connecting to all the West Coast cities. It's the 4th largest city in Oregon with more than 82,000 people here. So you would think that it would have a big city vibe, that there'd be active nightlife, cute downtown with bustling shops and restaurants. Not so much. Now, this doesn't mean there's nothing cute and there's nothing bustling and there's no activity happening, because there are. But it's just more of a sprawling big box store kind of vibe with some cute stuff in between. Take, for example, the strip mall zone known as the Village. It's primarily big box stores and franchises, but you're gonna also find tucked in there the Butterfly Club, which is awesome, check it out, little speakeasy spot, and the Collaborative Theater Project. So Anyway, if you're looking for big city energy, you're going to need to travel south to Sacramento or San Francisco or north to Eugene or Portland. And if you're wanting a small town vibe, check out Ashland, Jacksonville, or even Grants Pass. All right, the other thing that sucks here is the healthcare. Now, while we have hospitals and medical facilities, overall the healthcare here isn't great. Now, I hear this from a lot of medical professionals who tell me that we're just not big enough to attract great healthcare providers despite the high wages that they'll offer. So if you're looking for really good healthcare, it's something that you really need, you're gonna have to advocate for yourself. Now, this doesn't mean you're not gonna find a good provider, that every visit is going to be horrible, but if healthcare is important to you, I want you to research and decide if it's going to work for you. All right, the other thing that kind of sucks about living here is we have a little bit of a competitive real estate market. Now, it's not like people are, multiple offers. It's not like California that way. But what I'm finding is that I get a lot of people who think it's a lot cheaper here than it is. So I'll get people who think they're going to get a home for $300,000 or less, and they're expecting kind of a lot for that. Our price ranges have moved up. We're in the $400,000 range for a home that's going to be in a nice area and that's move-in ready. It might not be fully updated, but there you go. So there's still a lot of demand, and that means that we've got a lot of people coming in and we still don't have enough houses, and so it's still a little bit competitive. All right, well, before I share my bonus tip, I just want to remind you to please hit the subscribe button. That way you'll be able to keep in the loop for all of my future videos. All right, now for the bonus tip. If you are considering a move to Medford, try looking for an off-market housing deal. So work with a local realtor and ask about homes that aren't officially for sale yet. Sometimes homeowners are thinking about selling. I know several who are thinking about selling in 2025, but they haven't listed their property yet. And as agents, we're often connected with those folks. And I also don't want you to forget about those sellers who are doing for sale by owner on Zillow. Now, technically, those are considered off-market, because did you know that those homes only reach about 7% of potential buyers? So that gives you a chance to get in the door before other buyers even find out about the home. All right, well, that wraps up this episode. Once again, I'm Simona Fino, and I am a real estate agent here in beautiful Southern Oregon. In fact, today I'm coming to you from my office at the Rockwell Group right here in Medford. If you'd like to connect with me, just reach out. I have my contact info in the box below. My phone number is 541-326-2552, and I look forward to your call. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.